Hi and welcome to The Courageous Collective, the podcast where we celebrate diverse women who dare to do things differently. I'm Rupa Baradva, a copywriter and communication specialist. I work with women entrepreneurs to help them get clear on their brand messaging, and I help them become more visible to their target customers using PR.
And I'm Vardeep Edwards, founder of The Branding Fox, a design consultancy that supports women in business with their branding and design needs. After working in corporate roles, we both took the leap into self-employment and created our own businesses where our skills and experience could really shine. But something we both noticed was the lack of women that looked like us at events, on speaker panels and in the media.
Which is why we created the Courageous Collective podcast. This is our platform to celebrate and champion diverse women who are smashing it in their businesses. In each episode, we speak to a female founder about the story behind their business. We explore their inspirations, the challenges they faced and how they've dealt with them. And we talk about what they're yet to achieve.
Welcome to the Courageous Collective and enjoy today's episode. Hi and welcome to the Courageous Collective podcast. For anyone listening for the first time, this is our podcast where we share and celebrate women from underrepresented backgrounds who are doing amazing things as creative business founders. We want to share stories that you might not find elsewhere. And today you're in for a treat. We're joined by the lovely Sophia Lorimer, founder of Fine Tuned Wardrobe. Sophia is a sustainable fashion stylist who empowers her clients to dress for themselves. Her ethos is to let go of the clothes you no longer wear and love, and to embrace the clothes that do make you feel good. Sophia encourages her clients to shop sustainably rather than buying new. Sophia, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. That was a lovely intro.
Good, glad. Do you want to introduce yourself and tell us a bit more about you and your business?
Yeah, so I'm Sophia from Fine Tuned Wardrobe, and it is coming on to 4 years since I launched the business. It's 4 years in November. And I sort of created this business through the love of wanting to help other women. I went through a little bit of a tricky time with my style and my fashion. And when I got better, I really wanted to home in and help other women that might have been feeling the way that I felt. And the sustainability factor came into it after I had my daughter. And from being a self-confessed shopaholic, I was, I didn't have the knowledge that I do now. I was really just over-consuming, not knowing the facts. And when I set up Fine Tuned Wardrobe, I wanted to do better and I wanted to help other women do better in the terms of what we're buying. Do we need to buy as much as we buy, or could we just get creative with what's already out there? So with that being said, I sort of wanted to do that, but I wanted to add in a little bit more to help women that maybe can't afford to go out shopping all the time or use the things that we've got in our wardrobes that are just gathering dust. So that's a roundabout way of telling you a little bit of what I do.
Thank you, Sophia. I mean, you sound like, when you talk about kind of overbuying and, I think we've all been there or are there already. We'll get into that a bit later in the conversation for definite. But going back to your business, was the plan to always be a business owner, or was there kind of a different career plan when you were maybe growing up or considering what to do?
Yeah, no, 100% not. Not at all. It has never been anything that I was interested in as a child or anything like that. I was just, I just didn't think that people like me owned businesses. I just felt like it was other women that have got loads of opportunities. They're the ones that build businesses. I never saw anybody like me build a business. And my mum owned a hairdresser's when I was really, really little. And I don't have you have memories because you've seen a picture, but you don't have actual memories of it. But she owned a business. She had hairdressers, but because I don't remember it really well, it's almost to me like everyone else that I've seen has been from England, and they've all really well-to-do kind of thing. So I just didn't think that it was something that I could do. I just never, ever thought of it like that. I just felt like I'm always going to work for somebody else. And that's the way that it works, that I will always work a 9 to 5, get paid every month. And that was it.
That's so interesting, isn't it? And I think Rupa and I have had quite a few conversations between ourselves and with others as well about seeing who we could be in the community and the world around us. Do you want to talk a bit more about the clients that you work with? You work with mainly women.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. Yes, I only work with women, and because I just feel like women are underrepresented, and we are sometimes our own worst critics, because we stop ourselves sometimes from going for things that we deserve or that will push us further, and that sometimes can hold us back getting promotions, starting a business, because you feel like you're not worthy of it, or that. And the thing with what I do is it's not just about the clothes, it's also about the woman wearing the clothes. I want to empower you to go after what you want to do and not shy away from, I couldn't possibly go into that meeting because I don't like what I'm wearing, or I'm not confident enough. All of those things that play such a huge factor into where we want to be. So women was really important to me. Also, that our bodies change continuously. My body changes throughout the month. So it's that whole thing of like just trying to empower you to dress the woman that you are today, and also just be a bit more accepting and a little bit more kind to yourself, that it's okay for your body to change, your lifestyle to change, but there's things that we can do to dress you and empower you to go after those goals and those things that you really deserve. I had a call with a potential client the other day on a connection call, and she said something that just really, when it gives you that really sinking feeling, and I was like, oh my God, my work here is not done. She said to me that she's got 2 young kids, one a baby and one I think is 3 or something, but she's like, I can't take them swimming because I hate the way that I look in a swimsuit. I could never be seen. And I was just like, to not do something like that is so powerful, all because of what you think that your body should look like. And I just think that I'm not going to ever stop going on about dressing for empowering yourself from within, rather than you just put on clothes and you're just like hiding away or whatever, because it does stop us from doing so much.
That's such a powerful there's such a powerful thing you've just shared there, because I think we've all been in that situation where we may just stop ourselves from doing something, but to stop doing something with your kids, making memories and going swimming because you're not comfortable about your body shape. I mean, that's really interesting. Instagram has probably a lot to answer for. And I think, my timeline is always flooded with people trying to sell me stuff, and particularly, stylists who, I guess, want to share how you can achieve, that perfect image of yourself. And obviously Instagram does that really well. What kind of sets you apart from other stylists? I mean, you've just given us a flavour of what you do, but can you talk to us a bit more about what makes you different? What's your kind of USP?
I think I've got a few USPs, but going back to what you just said there, the thing that sets me apart from other stylists is that I'm not trying to sell you anything. In terms of, I'm not trying to sell you a product. I'm not going to wear something and be like, oh, go out and buy it because it's going to be the thing that you need in your wardrobe that's going to solve all the problems. The thing that's going to solve all the problems is your mindset. And that's what I work on. I work on your mindset, how you shop. Why are you shopping? Why do you feel like is it boredom? Is it a need of fulfilling that something else, but you're attaching it to shopping? Is it that you've got other factors? Like I had a client that I'm working with at the moment, she's been diagnosed with adult ADHD. That is a huge factor on the way that you look at yourself, the way that you shop your wardrobe. Sometimes you just haven't got the capacity to even think about what you're going to wear. So all of those things I tackle as a stylist, not just about what's your favourite colour, what do you want to wear today, because it's so much deeper than that. And I think that I always say to my clients is that, who are you following on Instagram? Are you following women that are like you? Or are you following people that are just going to, every time because it's even sometimes you might not even think about it, but your subconscious is instantly like, oh my God, I'm not that. Yeah. Or, that whole thing. And I'm like, we need to figure out who you're following, what they're bringing to you. Like, what is it that you're wanting? Even that mindless scroll, and then you buy. Why are you buying it? So I'm different in the way that I really dig deep into the person that you are. And there's so many factors. I've had a client that was divorced, that was going through a divorce. So obviously all of her challenges and needs were completely different to some of my other clients. So I really work on you as a person. I don't know if you can had a look on my Instagram, but you can see a flavour. It's not just about me popping up in a lovely, cute outfit, because that is not going to help you. It's not going to help the next person. It doesn't help anyone. It's just me showing you that I can dress really nicely or whatever. And so I think that styling should be about the person rather than just about the clothes. So I think that sets me apart. And obviously my whole charity spin on it is that I want to help other women with things that no longer, like I always talk about the sad pile. We've all got clothes in our wardrobes that make us feel absolutely shocking, haven't fitted us for years and years and years, yet we hang on to it thinking, do you know what? This season is my season. I'm going to fit into it, knowing full well you're not going to lose all that weight in that time and wear it. So you giving it a new home to somebody that really needs it is the angle that I go to for that. So yeah, in a roundabout way, there's a few flavours there, but yeah.
That's oh my goodness, there's so many things there. I totally relate to having a pile of clothes. I think I've got a pile of clothes at the bottom of my cupboard going, I'm not sure about these anymore, but then they sit there for months, maybe a couple of years, I don't know.
I had a client, she had a dress for 20 years.
Oh my
20
goodness.
years.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, you're definitely not going to be that person anymore. Even style-wise, our style changes, our needs change. So,
I think it's psychological, isn't it? Because I think that need to have something in your wardrobe, like, your lucky dress or whatever it is that you never are going to wear. But it's that psychological need to then not, remove it or get rid of it.
Absolutely. No, that is something that I hear all the time. Going on from that, I had a client and we had loads of similarities, actually. She came from a really poor background. And then when she hit an age and she could shop for herself, she was buying and buying and buying and buying and could never let go of anything, because she was like, but there was a time when I didn't have it. So it's all of that plays into why we keep things. It's that whole thing of, if I hold on to it, I'm definitely going to lose weight because I want to get into them, but you're not. So it's really fascinating, and every client's so different. So
it's a lot of emotional baggage, isn't there, with some clothing? It's really interesting, isn't it, how you've also kind of tied that into the perception of how we see ourselves when scrolling on Instagram, because we've actually got a choice now. When I was at school, there was no internet. It's a long time ago, let alone social media, and we had to rely on the media and the magazines. So there was always a limited amount of actual content that we as teenage girls could look at. Whereas today, you're so right, there is a choice of how you want to use social media and how you want to use that medium to make you feel good about yourself. And some of it might well be happening subconsciously. You might not realize that it's triggering something in you. And clothes, it's amazing how that can be tied in with those feelings.
Definitely.
Do you want to talk to us a bit more about the sustainable side of it? I really love the way, you talk about using what you've got in your wardrobe rather than going out and buying something new. It's obviously a very topical conversation as well, to be sustainable. Do you want to talk about how that works, if it's possible for all of us to do this and act that way?
I think 100%, again, something that tears me apart from other stylists is that I don't take you out shopping. It's not something that I do. One is because I think that sometimes you go out shopping and you're like, oh my God, this looks amazing on me. You get it home, it doesn't work with the rest of your wardrobe. So I literally like to work with what you've got in your wardrobe, because the most sustainable thing out there is already in circulation. It's already hanging in your wardrobe. So by me helping you get creative with what you've got and actually make a list of what you need is a much better way of being more sustainable than me going out to shop, whether it's sustainable brands or sustainable fabrics. All of that is like, yeah, we can get to that if we cannot find it pre-loved first. But I think that the fundamentals and what I teach my clients is how to get creative with what you've got. Let's style it so it suits the woman that you are today. If it doesn't, we pass it on to somebody who needs it. But having that as a main priority, because what I do also is that I want to empower you to think of this long term. And the longer you can get creative with the clothes that you've got, the more sustainable you're going to be, because you're not going to need to go and buy every trend, everything, because you know what your style is, you know how to put your clothes together to suit you and your lifestyle and whatever body shape you are.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, Sophia, you've really helped me. We've worked together in the past, but you've really helped me kind of get over that kind of mind bump or stigma around kind of pre-loved clothes as well. Because I've walked into charity shops, I've maybe bought things, but I've never really bought clothes. I looked at Vinted and kind of sold stuff on there, but never really bought anything for myself. But now, having worked together, and actually it's better for the environment, it's better for my wallet, and it's also better for my mind as well, because I'm not constantly, like, as you said, over consuming and buying things. And I think it's actually, like, I feel good that I'm buying things that somebody may not no longer want. And I'm looking at my wardrobe and I'm thinking, actually, there is actually so much more I can do with this, rather than going, I'm not going to wear that, I'm not going to wear that, I'm not going to wear that. And getting into that cycle of buying, getting rid of, buying, not wearing, and it kind of just sits there. And it's that, I don't know, I definitely felt lighter once we'd had our session together, because I think, you know, mentally, I didn't realise actually how much I was holding on to. And I felt, so much better. So thank you for that.
No, I love hearing that. I love hearing that, because I've converted a whole load of women to go and look pre-loved, because it does have that stigma. It doesn't so much these days, but it has that whole stigma, oh, somebody might have died in it, you know, all of this kind of stuff. Charity shops are smelly, but there's so many amazing pieces out there that are like hardly worn. Because how many women that are listening to this now have got pieces in their wardrobes with tags on? You know, that you might get rid of, and then you might go and buy it. Do you know, somebody else might go and buy it. There's just so many lovely things out there that are already in circulation. And I think that definitely this whole thing about sustainability has made it more accessible, because when I was growing up, I'm from a huge family, and we was car boot sales, charity shops, and I would never tell my friends I got it from a car boot sale or a charity shop. They'll be like, oh, you know, but now it's the thing. And that's really positive, a really positive movement. But now it's how do we style those, and how do we look after those items? It's all of that now that I think that we need to, because, you know, buying pre-loved can be addictive as well, because you're like, oh, I'm getting a bargain. I'm getting, you know, it's fine. It only cost me £5, but did you need it? So I always encourage my clients to have lists. We always work off your list of the missing items and things like that. So it's been about mindfulness as well when you shop.
Oh, amazing. Well, we wanted to move on to marketing now. And I know previously in the conversation you mentioned lack of role models, particularly when you were considering, you know, starting your business. Talk to us about what you're doing now. How are you making yourself more visible to your clients? What are you doing to, like, really get out there and actually share your story, and, you know, hopefully open up new kind of avenues so that you can attract new business?
Do you know what? This is such an interesting question, because where I am right now in my journey through my business, this is like one of my biggest, like, it's like it's a massive thing. You want to be seen, you want to get your business out there. And I want to work with so many women, and the marketing side of things is always really tricky, because to get the kind of marketing that you might want or need, feels like you need to have loads of money to do that. But then, do you know what I mean? So it's always, to me personally, I find marketing is one of my biggest challenges within my business. However, a lot of my business come from Instagram and word of mouth. But in the last, I don't know, 7-8 months, probably a bit longer, I've done loads of speaking engagements. So, and I think that's really helped to get out, give me that bit more of exposure. But obviously, like things like podcasts, I'm trying to do those kind of things more, and reaching out to more social medias, not just Instagram. I'm trying to be a bit more on LinkedIn and things like that. Everyone keeps telling me I need to get on TikTok. But again, I think that as a business owner, I've got all the hats. Like, it's so hard to do it all and do it all really well. So I'm just giving myself a bit of grace to be like, I didn't go to school for this business stuff. I just love what I do, and everything else I'm just learning it on the go.
Oh, amazing. And I know that you're particularly with your public speaking, you're going to or you're getting training at the moment. So yeah. I mean, you're investing in yourself.
Absolutely. Well, when I work with my clients and they've invested in themselves to work with me, that is, I want to do the same. I want to better myself in every realm possible. And I want to be better at speaking, because I do a lot of speaking, even on my Instagram. We're speaking all the time. And if I can get better at it, then I can do more talks and get out to more people. And 100%. I think that investing in yourself as a business owner is fundamental, because it's the only way that you can then grow and expand.
Yeah, absolutely. I can totally understand wearing all the hats. And I think that happens, doesn't it, when you start a business? There's lots of take on board. And it feels like forever juggling different roles as well. And kind of on that, do you have any kind of advice to anybody else who would be considering setting up their own business?
I think that the advice that I would give somebody would be, just go for it. Just go for it, because you just don't know what's going to happen or what's around the corner. Because I think that in our minds, we have a story that plays out, and we're like, oh my God, I'm not good enough. Is anyone going to actually buy the thing? And I have had this story on a loop, but every time I just shut that story down, and I'm just like, no, we're not entertaining that. We're moving forward. And I think that also with me personally, is that I've built a really lovely community of like-minded women, like business owners and people that are actually in it. Because out of my friendship group that I've grown up with, I'm the only one with a business. So even that, it's like alien to my friendship group, and they're like, oh God, you're still working? It's 10 o'clock. And I'm like, yes, kind of thing. But this building up a community of like-minded women that support you and that get you and that you can bounce ideas off has also been a massive game changer for me personally in my business. So I would highly recommend getting a good network of like-minded people, and some people that are even ahead of the game from you, because that then pushes you that bit further. There's no point of just having everyone, you're all starting out all absolutely in the same state. So that's my recommendations.
Yeah, we've had other guests on the podcast, Sophia, who've said something similar. It's really inspiring to see women who are kind of a bit further ahead, so you can kind of see what's coming up, and actually to understand their challenges and how they got there as well, which is also partly why we set this podcast up, because we're nosy and we want to know, how did you do it?
Absolutely, but it's great. It's really, really good because sometimes you might sit at home and you'd be like, oh my God, they're doing so well, but it hasn't been easy, and knowing that it wasn't easy, but they still got there is like, oh, okay, I can do it too.
Yeah.
So.
We're all like swans, aren't we? We're all just, furiously paddling away under the water. Talking of which, what's your biggest business mistake?
Oh, that's a good one. I think the one that springs to mind instantly, because there was a lot of tears shed about this one, was the lack of knowledge. And that's why I always bang on now. Knowledge is power. The more you know, the better. When I first started, I didn't have a clue about taxes or anything like that. And I sort of just winged it. And I just paid somebody really, really cheap because I thought that was a great deal. And to do my taxes, and they were all done wrong and everything went really, really bad. So yeah, and that was those few months of that whole going through all of that was like the hardest part of the whole since I started the business. It was just because it was that whole thing of, oh my God, I've just started it and they're going to close it down. And oh my God, all of these awful things, all because I didn't know that you actually need to pay a proper professional to take care of some of these things if you do not know what you're doing. So yeah, that really hurt a lot. But now I know exactly, I've got my accountant, everything's in alignment. But yeah, that time was really tricky.
It takes a while, doesn't it, as well, I think, when you're starting out, because everything is new, and if you don't necessarily know the processes and the forms to fill out and the different things to do, it's a lot. So
yeah. It is a real lot. And I think that the whole thing of naivety is good to an extent.
Yeah.
But when it's big things like that keep you up at night, and
So, absolutely. I think it's all a learning curve, isn't it? When you start your journey, and, like you say, no two businesses are the same. No two business journeys are going to be the same. No people are the same. So a lot of it is kind of finding your feet in the first few years and understanding what's going to work for you. And knowledge is power, because I think as a business owner, you probably need to understand what's the ins and outs of the systems and the processes, even if you are going to outsource it. But you kind of have to put it down as a learning and move on. But
definitely. But I definitely learned, and I did a talk not that long ago, and I spoke about this because it was a women in business event, and I spoke about this because I didn't know anything about it. I'd never heard anyone talk about it. And I was just like, if somebody takes this and puts it in their pocket to like outsource what you can't do, then yeah.
Absolutely. And do you know what, Sophia, I've really loved talking about your business today. And it's such an interesting idea and base, in terms of what you're trying to do. And have you got a vision for your business? Do you have an idea of where you'd like to see it in a few years' time, or what that might look like?
God, how long have you got? I've got huge plans for Fine Tune Wardrobe. The reason why it's called Fine Tune Wardrobe is because it's not about me at all. I want it to be well known in terms of the amount of women that we help. And I want it to be that it's Fine Tune Wardrobe and there's loads of people that do what I do. So it can be Manchester, Birmingham, all over the country. There's lots of other me's, as it were. Loads of different other sustainable stylists do exactly what I do. And we all help those women in those communities. So like at the moment, I help the charities and homeless shelters and women's refuges around where I live. But I want to be able to help all the women in all around the country. So those stylists doing that will be doing it in those areas. That's where I want it to go. And then I would like to have like a hub that is like a pre-loved shop. So everyone, when you resell would happen there. So They will all the clothes will come to the base there, and it'll be a lovely boutique that once a month we get women from women's shelters that come in once a month, and we give them a full-on gorgeous styling session, all for free, and they can go out and succeed in their lives. So that's what's going to happen. I'm calling it in.
Putting it out to the universe. That sounds amazing. I'd absolutely love to see that happen. So yeah, sounds brilliant.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the plan.
Sophia, thank you so much for joining us today and for being part of the Courageous Collective. I'm sure our listeners will agree it was an inspiring conversation with so many great takeaways, and hopefully you've encouraged them to revisit their wardrobes and consider what they've already got rather than buying something new straight away. Thank you. If you'd like to find out more about Sophia, head to her website, finetunedwardrobe.com. We'll also pop her social handles in the show notes so you can connect with her too. And that's it for this week. We hope you enjoy the conversation. Please do keep sharing your feedback with us on social media. And don't forget to hit the follow button on Spotify or Apple to subscribe to the Courageous Collective.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. The Courageous Collective is created by Rupa Baradva and Vardeep Edwards. We really appreciate your feedback, so please like, share and follow us. Please also subscribe to receive an alert for our next episode.
You can find out where to follow us on social media in the show notes. And if you'd like to be a future guest, please do get in touch. Thanks and see you soon.